Honor is a brand that you might not be incredibly familiar with. However, a few months ago when they sent me their Magic VS, it was an incredibly impressive device. So when Honor offered to sponsor a trip out to Barcelona to take a look at their latest flagship, it was an easy yes. And when you think about it, Honor is a brand which is really trying to focus on the global market right now. And to do that as a sort of newcomer in a lot of ways, you can't just be okay. You have to be great. You have to be better than the current options, because otherwise why would anyone even consider you? Not only did they announce the final shipping version of the Magic VS, which they have in the booth behind me, but importantly they've also announced this, the Magic5 Pro. Now this is a proper flagship device. There are a few things that I like about it, but one of the most important ones is almost the ambition. So this is not a budget device, this is not a weird side grade, like this is proper high-end flagship device. So I found some random influencers in the wild here to discuss the Magic5 Pro.
I mean, they're going all out. Full-on flagship. We've got three 50 megapixel cameras. I think that's the first time I've seen three 50 megapixel cameras.
Not
smartphone.
Not 350. 350 megapixels.
3 times. No, then we're confusing it with zoom. 3 individual 50 megapixel cameras.
Now, specs are one thing, and they're important. Don't get me wrong, specs are important. But a lot of companies have terrific looking specs on the list. That doesn't always necessarily translate into the experience.
I know you were saying about the specs, but when you tick off all the boxes, then you really stand out as flagship, right? Because that's what you're up against, especially in the Android space. It's like, okay, does it have this, this, and this? Especially with the 8 Gen 2, we've seen how efficient it is.
Look, I've been doing this for a long time, so I definitely get a little bit kind of pessimistic sometimes. But so many phones are so similar. It's little iterative updates over and over and over again, which is great and it's important, but it's not exciting. Whereas you look at Honor, they have all the incentive in the world to be super aggressive, not only with their marketing and their pricing, but really with the features. Because let's be real, if you've got this as an option, it has to stand out. It can't just be okay, it can't just be decent. This needs to be better, this needs to be able to stand out in a real way. So I'm partial to this green color, but they've got this, so they call this the Gaudi curve. And essentially, the entire camera bump, if you can see here, it's very nicely tapered up into the top of the phone. If you're gonna go and put a camera bump like that on the back of your phone, you would better back it up with some good cameras.
I like the design as well. I mean, some unique treatment given to the camera island, the way it is, it won't wobble on a flat surface. So those kind of things at times kind of, like get the interest back.
Look on top, we've got an IR blaster. When was the last time you've seen an IR blaster on a flagship smartphone? It's been years. On top of that, you've got this speaker which actually goes out the top as well as through the earpiece. They've got some really cool AI tech to actually allow you to actually cancel out the audio. So if you're on like a speakerphone call and you don't want other people to hear, you can actually use that to cancel out so that no one can hear besides you. One of the more interesting features is the AI motion capture. Essentially what this does is it is constantly taking photos, and the actual AI processing is going to help determine what the best photo is and give that to you. So you don't have to, if you're trying to capture some action, hit the shutter at the exact right time. Supposedly, it will be smart enough to sort it out for itself. Honor actually used this to capture a Guinness World Record slam dunk. Without touching it whatsoever, it was able to capture the exact right moment and highlight that still. So I'm going to emulate that myself. So we're not gonna touch the phone, I'm gonna jump and we're gonna see how well it does. All right, you ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. That's pretty much all the way there. You can see it captured me at the very height of my jump.
Austin actually got this in one go.
It's like one of those things where I feel like sometimes it seems like a gimmick, right? Like, oh, it's an extra feature. But you actually use it and you don't have to hit the shutter button whatsoever. It detects when you do something cool. It's not always gonna be completely perfect, but when it captures a shot like that with the correct timing that I would never be able to exactly hit on like the top of the jump, it's legitimately really cool. Now, while this is running incomplete software, and I, of course, would never make judgments based on non-final hardware and software, there are a couple of things that are actually really cool here. So if you look inside the camera app, I'm not showing you this, by the way, you didn't see this from me. So there are a bunch of features, but one of the things I like is the actual movie mode, which actually supports full log. So you can actually turn on and it will shoot in log just like the camera that we're recording on right now. If you're not familiar with what log is, so the A7S III that we're using shoots in a very flat picture profile called log, which is what this looks like right now. However, you use this because you can get the absolute maximum dynamic range, color, and you have the maximum flexibility after the fact. So when you want to do your color grade, it now looks like this. Well, this phone actually allows you to do a very similar thing. 10-bit 4K. I'd love to show you what it looks like. Unfortunately, I definitely can't do that. But it brings me back to when companies were hungry. It brings me back to when smartphones were fun. Things can get boring really quick when everyone has the same specs and the same battery and blah, blah, blah. Like there's not that much, of course, to differentiate things, but also there's not that much to be excited about.
For that, go watch on YouTube Mr. Mobiles when phones were fun.
Yeah. I think he was gonna plug his own channel there. It's like, for that, you should watch Technical Guruji. So I think there hasn't been too much competition in the way of foldables recently, but that's changing now. And with the VS having that flat, gapless design, I mean, that's something that's really good because it doesn't feel like a foldable all the time, right? And you can use the cover display practically. It's not tiny, it's a very usable cover display.
This trip has been eye-opening for me. It's something to see a company like Honor really trying their best to break into new markets and to deliver products which are legitimately exciting, right? I can't stress that enough. Being actually good and exciting is very different than just existing and delivering devices which are fine and okay. And I can say that it is only a good thing to have more competition in the space. So huge thank you to Honor for having us out here to Barcelona and giving us this early sneak peek. And stay tuned. I'd love to get a deep dive into these things once they've actually gone on sale and I can spend proper time. But I'm just gonna use AI to capture the rest of my video now.